Yo, what's going on, guys? On the Spot Sports here, and I'm Jack. And in today's episode, we're going to be having an interview with Rudy Hodgson of the DePaul Blue Demons. Right, so we got Rudy Hodgson here from the DePaul Blue Demons, who's a goaltender. Rudy, how are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. So you're from Monrovia, California, and you're currently a sophomore at DePaul University, and you're playing for the team as a goaltender there. And you were a starting goalie for Damien High School from 2016 to 2018, and now you play for DePaul and the ACHA team there. And before we get to talking hockey, so what are you studying, and what are you studying for your school?
Right now I'm studying sports communication, and I got my minor in real estate right now. So yeah, it's pretty hectic right now, but yeah, that's what I'm studying.
Yeah, but you're enjoying it overall, so.
Yeah, I love Chicago. I love the school out here. Meet some really cool people, and it's been kind of crazy, like I said, but I'm really enjoying myself out here. So trying to make the most of it, and it's been great so far.
Hey, that's all that matters here.
Right.
And what are you planning on doing once you get out of college?
Well, I'd like to do something with my major. I'd like to play hockey, overseas or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd like to continue to play, maybe play pro somewhere. But realistically, probably I'd like to be a play-by-play analyst or something in the world of sports. Something that goes with my major, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Pro hockey wouldn't be that bad either.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not closing the door yet, but got to have a backup plan in case it doesn't work out.
Yeah, for sure. We got the same mindset going into that.
Yeah, man. It's competitive, so it's tough, but I'm sure we can, or I'm sure I can figure something out, down the line. But I'm just a sophomore, and I want to keep studying, so I still got some time to think about it.
Yeah, for sure. So going into hockey, so you're from Monrovia, California, and California isn't something where you'd call like a hockey state with all the warm weather you get up there. So what was it like growing up playing hockey in California?
It was interesting because growing up, I played a lot of roller hockey, and then it wasn't until the Kings and the Ducks started winning cups that they started building all these ice rinks. So I started playing hockey when I was 4, but I didn't start playing ice until I was probably 11 or 12, which is pretty late. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, and then I just kind of got thrown into high school hockey. I played 4 years varsity, but my first year I was kind of like a bubble guy, so I played a little bit of JV, a little bit of varsity because I was young and I was still getting used to the whole ice thing. But yeah, I mean, hockey was such a weird sport because it's in a much better place now. Yeah. But when I was growing up, it was not as prevalent as it is today.
Yeah, for sure. I hear that a lot from like people who grew up in California, that the hockey wasn't as popular over there, or ice hockey wasn't as popular over there, and so a lot of people started with roller, which transitioned into ice.
Yeah, it's a weird transition. I've kind of gotten used to it these days, but yeah, I'm probably in the very small number of guys that actually prefer roller than ice, because I feel like roller is just a simpler game. But the competitiveness in ice is just something that I'm very attracted to. So I stick with ice, and I love it, and I like to think that I've made the most of it so far here at DePaul. So
yeah, for sure. Anytime you get the chance, you got to take advantage of anything you got.
No, exactly.
And so, like you were saying, you had limited ice time, limited rinks out there until the Ducks and Sharks were winning, or Kings were winning some cups. So as you were growing up, did you always play goalie, or did you start out as a skater?
Well, it's a funny story. I started skating when I was 3, and I was playing skater, and I fell, and I did not like the way it felt, and I stopped playing. So then I came back to roller when I was about 4 or 5, and I skated out for a while. And then one day I showed up to my game, and our goalie didn't show up. And my coach, Eric Varlez, he told me, like, hey, like, why don't you try it out? You know, like, we only got 5 guys, and, you know, why don't you try it out, see if you like it? And I put the stuff on, and it seemed really cool to me. And I got a shutout my very first game. Very first game that I ever played. You know, keep in mind, I was probably like 7 or 8, so I probably saw like 2 shots. But I just fell in love with it, and yeah, I played out the rest of the season, and then I just kept playing, and I got better. And you know, one thing just kind of led to another. It's just right place at the right time, and that's just how it began.
Yeah, for sure. It always seems like goalies always start out as a skater. Like for me, I started out as a skater all the way through high school, and I just recently got into goaltending like 3 years ago. So it's weird, but I like it. So it's like,
no, yeah, it's like I tell everybody it's the best worst decision I've ever made, because it's such a great experience, but it's so demanding. You know, it's such a mental obstacle. You know, having to worry about the next shot, having to worry about what the score is. It's just such constant moving pieces to being a goaltender that it's kind of every game's an adventure. You know, every game has a different experience, and there's no game that's too easy or too hard, because regardless of what's going on, that the other team's going to get their chances. So you just kind of got to be ready, whether it's 5 seconds apart or minutes apart. So it's very, I mean, like I said, the best worst decision I've ever made, because sometimes it really sucks to be a goalie, because, you know, sometimes you get lit up, and then sometimes it's very rewarding when you get that big win, or when you make that big save at the right time. So it's something.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot mental, because you got to stay in it, like you said, and you have to forget about the goals you've given up. You just got to focus on that next shot, the next time they enter the zone. It's a lot going through your mind there.
Right, exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so you played high school hockey at Damien High School. How did your seasons go when you were playing at Damien?
I think Damien kind of did a great job of developing me to be able to play in college. I think my freshman year was kind of a learning year for me, because like I said, I was a bubble guy, so I played both JV and varsity. But down the stretch, I played varsity in the playoffs, and we ended up going to the finals against Santa Margarita, and they just kind of took us down pretty easy. So it was pretty quick introduction to what losing was like in that league. And, you know, you kind of take that feeling and you kind of try to get ready for next season. So we found a lot more success the next couple of years. And then, you know, our coach did a really good job of kind of getting us prepared for scouting and taking us to tournaments where we can get seen. So by the time my sophomore year of high school came around, I was already drafted to a junior league in Canada. So it kind of gave me options right away. But I always kind of knew that I wanted to play in college.
Yeah.
So, you know, I entertained the option of going to go play junior someday, but I knew deep down that I was going to go play college somewhere, whether it was in the NCAA or in the ACHA. So, I don't know, DePaul was just kind of the right fit for me at the time. And, you know, it's been a great opportunity. And Damien just kind of, I always saw it as a place to develop and have fun. And it was a private school, it was a Catholic private school, it was all guys school. So it was such a weird and, you know, just a different experience than your typical high school experience. So I just kind of try to make the most of it. And I deep down believe that it was the best 4 years of my life, and probably the best decision I ever made to go to Damien.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a learning curve.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Anywhere, like hockey, school, you learn a lot every single day.
Yeah, I mean, high school was kind of fun for me because hockey was such a big sport at the school, because they've had this track record of having success. So we were like little celebrities in the school. Like, everybody knew who the hockey team was, you know, whether it was good or bad. It was interesting. But, you know, like I said, I enjoyed it, and I had the time of my life, and it was just incredible. Teachers were giving us like excuses to miss finals, and we got to skip class to go to games and stuff. It was just amazing. So yeah, I enjoyed myself. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was the opposite for me in high school. Our team wasn't really good, but like we got better as like my years went on. But eventually we got better, but I still had a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun playing high school hockey.
High school hockey is fun, man. I mean, I can't really express just how grateful I am to kind of have that experience. And, the coaches kind of understood that it was all about getting the kids ready for the next level of hockey. And, my coach, I had 3 really good coaches. I had Barry Shearer, I had Curtis Fisher, and I had Arnie Pappin, who was actually the video coach for the '94 Rangers when they won the Cup. So he kind of developed me early on and kind of showed me that hockey's not really that walk in the park that I was so used to, because coming from roller where everything's kind of just have fun, be with your friends, Arnie kind of introduced the whole, I don't give a crap if you're paying to play high school hockey, I'm going to roll with the best. And at the time I wasn't, so he sent me back down to JV, and it was tough, but I was also very young, so I kind of had to understand that I'm not going to be the guy all the time, and that's just the way the goaltending goes. There's only 2 of you, so
you go through good stretches, and you go through those bad stretches. So you just got to really focus in, and control what you can control.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes sometimes. But that was high school for me, and like I said, very grateful to have been able to have that experience today.
Yeah, for sure. So then you moved on from high school to college. What made you choose DePaul over any of the other schools that you were looking at?
Well, I mean, I always knew I wanted to move to another big city, being from LA, and I never saw myself kind of going from, one of the biggest markets in America to going to the middle of nowhere and playing college in like a farm town and not really enjoying myself. So, club hockey is kind of different with regards to recruiting. They can't really offer a whole bunch of scholarships or a whole bunch of this and that. Some schools can because of the size, but a school as big as DePaul, they really sold me on what they had going for them academics wise, and the direction in which the program was headed. So I came here, and I played a lot. I started last season a lot, and I got some good minutes, and I got some good experience. And I think last year was probably the best season that I've ever had, athletically and personally, because I just kind of found a groove that I was really proud of, and I was enjoying myself. And it was a little tough, homesick and all, but I try to make the most of last season, and it's translated to this season pretty well. And it's all about momentum and trying to carry yourself and be ready for that next shot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's pretty much how I chose DePaul. Was the coach is Coach Jerry Fronek. He kind of sold the program on me, and then the captain last year, Tommy Feldman. He's our all-time leading scorer here at DePaul. So he kind of showed me what was going on around the team, and he was awesome. He was such a key part to me coming over. So
it's always nice to have that presence.
Yeah, that older guy presence was huge. He's like a mentor, and he was incredible. I had a great time with him, and it kind of sucks that he was a senior last year.
Yeah.
Wish I could have spent a little more time with him, but he was awesome.
Yeah. How's your season going for you this year?
Pretty good. We're riding a 5-game win streak right now, and we're going up against Lindenwood this upcoming weekend. So it's going to be a tough series for sure because they're ranked. But we're pretty confident that we could at least split the weekend, if not sweep them. So it's gonna come down to the little stuff. We're gonna have to do the little things right.
Yeah, for sure. Confidence is key.
Exactly. Yeah, we got head in there knowing that we can win these games. So it's going to come down to how bad somebody wants it, because I think on any given day any team can win any team. So yeah, it's going to be like that.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say is the biggest difference from playing high school hockey to college?
Pace, definitely the pace. College hockey is just ridiculously fast and really, really structured. You got to understand that, these are essentially guys that are, for anywhere in age between 18 and 28 years old. So maturity, and these guys are a lot more experienced, and they know what they want to do, and the shots are different. Like the puck just kind of releases off their blade ridiculously quicker, and you just kind of got to be ready because they can shoot from anywhere and it can come in at 80, 95. So
yeah, for sure.
It's such a different pace, and these guys truly believe in that set play thing, whereas high school hockey is kind of not really all that structured. You just got guys trying to run and gun and force plays and stuff, the dipsy doodle nice move, but college is all about setting plays up and getting the right chances. So there are games that I'll take probably 20, 25 shots, but they're all grade A opportunities. But then there's another game where I'll take probably close to 60 shots, and they're all just kind of shots from the point, little breakdowns defensively that turn to chances. So every game's different. So, but I definitely say that pace and structure are the two big things about college hockey that differentiate from California. Not to mention that I'm from California, you know what I mean? So the hockey quality is different. So coming to I wouldn't really say the East Coast, I'd say the Midwest. Every team is kind of different. Every team's quick because they're all kids from out here. So
yeah, for sure.
The hockey's just so much better out here than it is in the West Coast. So it's so different.
Yeah, I bet it's a lot different than from the West to the Midwest. So do you prefer Midwest hockey over West Coast? Or
if I want to win, yeah, the West Coast, because I know I'll win the West Coast. But as far as competition, yeah, I think hockey here in the Midwest is just so much more competitive, and it's so big out here. Like people, I'll walk around campus and people recognize me. You play on the hockey team, whereas if I walk around LA, everyone will be like, oh, like there goes the basketball players, there go the football players. It's just such a different pool. Whereas here, everybody cares about hockey. So
yeah, for sure.
That's so huge when it comes to being a hockey player out here in the Midwest as compared to being a hockey player out in Southern California.
Yeah, Chicago's a big hockey city too.
Yeah, it's huge out here. I mean, not to take anything away from LA, hockey's really big in LA too, but you can't really put that to comparison to Chicago, whereas you can't really compare hockey in Toronto to Chicago because Toronto is just so big in hockey.
Yeah.
Well, it's just there's different tiers, I guess you can say, of how big hockey is in all these different cities, but it's impressive. It's so fun to be a hockey player out here.
Yeah, for sure. So you were drafted by the Toronto Predators in round 11 of the Greater Metro Junior A League.
That's right.
What was it like being drafted to play Junior A?
Actually, it's pretty funny how I got drafted. I went to a junior skate. I went to a showcase.
Yeah.
And I probably played one of the best games I've ever played against Bellarmine High in San Jose. And it got attention from media and stuff. I know a couple magazines magazines posted about it because I set a school record for saves within the game in my high school.
Congrats about that.
Thank you. And so I got around, and then I got a call from Robert Turnbull, who was the general manager at the time for the Predators, and he was like, "Yeah, we're looking at drafting you. We're looking at this. We're looking into kind of trying to learn about what you want to do as far as your career-wise in hockey." And I was all for it. I was 16, so I was like, "Yeah, definitely. Count me in. I'll leave California for cold Toronto tonight if you need me to." And so they drafted me. They drafted me on Mother's Day. I remember because I got the email and the phone call from Rob saying that he drafted me, and it was Mother's Day, and I was having dinner with my family. And a couple months later, I was on a plane to Toronto, and I got to meet him, and he sold me on the program. So I was getting ready to go play in Toronto last year, my freshman year, because I could have gone to I'm trying to remember the name of the school, Ryerson University in Toronto, and play for the Predators. So I would have been able to play junior hockey and go to college.
Hey, two of the best.
It didn't really work out. Just didn't really work out.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason. So I guess not going to Toronto and playing there kind of helped me explore my college options. And so with that, I stumbled upon DePaul, and I don't know, it's just right place, right time. Like I said, Tommy really helped me out, and then Coach Jerry, he kind of sold me on the program too. So I just kind of decided this was the best move for me hockey-wise, is to come to Chicago.
Yeah, hockey's all about opportunities these days.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's I've seen a lot of great kids from California that could have very easily played NCAA D3 or D1. That just kind of, they were going to NOL camps, they were going to USHL camps, and they were just on the bubble, and they got really discouraged because they couldn't play, and then they just stopped playing altogether. And I don't know, it just could never be me. I want to keep playing until I simply just can't anymore.
Yeah, same.
So it's unfortunate to see guys go down that road, but you kind of understand because, it just seems like such a helpless feeling when you can't find a team. So it sucks, but I was very fortunate with how things worked out for me. And like I said before, I'm just trying to make the most of it, enjoy my time here at DePaul, because college is moving by really quick. I'm already halfway through the season. It just feels like we started yesterday. So
yeah, college is a fun time.
Definitely.
So over the summer, you were able to represent your family's home country of Colombia and Florida. What was it like playing for Colombia, and what experience did you gain from playing that level of hockey?
I've been told by so many people that was probably the best tournament I've ever played. I was fortunate enough to be published and interviewed by NHL.com and The Athletic, and I had people talking to me about what I'm doing next year, and scouts were everywhere, and it was just incredible. I was there to represent my family's country and my family, and it was just surreal. It wasn't a dry eye in the stands when we won that first game, and I remember seeing my mom up in the stands when they were playing the national anthem, and she was like in tears and stuff. So it was little stuff like that just meant the world to me, and we were able to force ourselves to the final, and it was covered by NHL Network and stuff, and I think between periods, like, they would ask me to come out of the locker room and like talk on their TV channel or whatever, and my mom has it recorded and stuff. It was just crazy. It's probably the closest I'll ever get to the NHL, but it was just such an incredible experience, and I'm very grateful, and I hope they'll have me back. I know they just got IIHF approved, and they've expressed a little bit of interest in keeping me on the team, and I'm kind of hoping that performance kind of sways their direction to come back to me next time. So that was cool, and then to be able to represent not just Colombia but Team USA in the span of a month was just incredible.
Yeah, it seems like an incredible experience all around. Like that, I'm sure we'll see you in the NHL one day. I'm sure.
I don't think so, but hopefully. I mean, fingers crossed.
You can always fingers crossed.
Exactly.
So a little bit off hockey, but like there's been a bit of racism in hockey over the years. Have you ever have you ever faced like racism while playing? And if so, how did you get past it?
Yeah, no, I have. I've had my fair share of ignorance thrown at me. Something happened last year when we played against another university. They were making monkey noises at me, and it just wasn't really a great experience. I'm a very mental guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't want to throw my guard down and go to the bench and start fighting somebody. I just kind of took it and used it as ammunition to kind of motivate me to play better, and it did. Unfortunately, we lost that game, but that was one of those turning points in the season where I told myself I'm not going to let anybody push me around anymore. But as far as handling it, I mean, everybody has their way of handling it, and it's really unfortunate when it happens. And I mean, everyone's different. Everybody handles it different. I mean, I think some guys are very vocal about it. Some guys don't obviously stand for it. I myself, it's really unfortunate when it happens to me, but I hold my head up high, and I know that it shouldn't bother me. It's just their ignorance, and it's unfortunate, like I said, but I think I think it's a case by case type thing. It just depends on the person and how they take it, and it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of what happens. It's sad to see, but
yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
It's dumb to see that, and it's sad, but it's good that you use that to like get to like be the best you could be and power through it. There's no need for that in the game.
Yeah, definitely no need for it at all, but it happens, and it's unfortunate, and I don't know. It's so sad to see that there's still racism in the game. I know Evander Kane handled it pretty well. He was very vocal about it, and he's been a big voice. But hockey's such a big sport, and it's growing. And I'm glad to be, in my lifetime, be able to see, kids from Colombia, kids from Brazil, Argentina, kids from Jamaica that are able to play hockey and be good.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's good to see that the game is growing, but there's still those ugly sides of it that affect people, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure. Just got to get past that. All right, so now let's get into like the technical side of your game. What is your typical off-season and in-season training like?
Off-season, I train with my buddy Drake Usher, who plays at the Wenatchee Wild in the BC. So he's kind of like my off-season trainer. On season, I wish I was a little more strict when it comes to a training plan, but
yeah.
I try when I can. And, hockey's such a big part of my schedule that the 2-hour practices already feel like a workout in itself. So
yeah, for sure.
Off season, what I really like to focus on is staying active and still playing and stuff. So I just try to stay on the ice as much as I can over the summer and work with my goalie coaches and work with my coaches from high school who are amazing at developing me. So I trust them with my career and with my game. So I work with them. Shout out to Curtis Fisher, who's just amazing. And I'll probably be seeing him in December when I go home for the 6 weeks to stay on the ice and stay ready to go.
That's awesome. Do you usually like go for off season? Do you just like go to like stick and pucks or like go to like free ice and just like work on like your movement, blocking, all that?
Yeah. So what I do more often than not, our coaches will just kind of like rent the sheet, and they'll leave the sheet out for me, so I don't have to be constantly shot at by guys at stick and puck or at rat. So I am fortunate enough to kind of have that connection where if I want a rink to myself, I can get the rink to myself. But when I go home, I think for the most part, it's like stick and puck where we just kind of put a net to the side and work on my movement, work on little things, head movement, arm movement, leg movement. It's just everything across the board. You work on everything when you're kind of trying to get back in the rhythm. So that's just the way it goes. That's just hockey,
Yeah, I feel that. Do you have any superstitions, or do you like stay away from that?
No, I have so many. I'm terrible with superstitions. I have so many. I get to the rink and I'll show up and I wear the same tie, no matter what the suit color is. I wear the same tie. I've worn the same tie since I was probably 15. It's a little black tie that I adjust like once or twice a year. So wear the same tie of the game, and then I get into my warm ups and stuff, and I warm up with the team. All my superstitions start when I get ready and during the game. So when I get ready, I put on my left stuff first, and then my right. So I'll put my my left knee guard on my left skate, and then my right knee guard my right skate, and then just kind of go from there. Mm-hmm. I touch the rims of the door. I go right, left, top, and then I get on the ice, step on the ice with my left foot first, and then I do a little thing with my post before each face-off, each period, and I go touch the corner after a goal. So it's not, some people would call it insane or weird and stuff. I just, it just kind of keeps me focused in the game, and it's just one of those things that kind of refreshes your
whatever keeps you in the game.
Exactly, it works. You know what I mean? If I don't do it, I'll notice, and it'll bother me. But yeah, I'm very superstitious in games.
Yeah, like I
Very
have that
much so.
same superstition where I have to like put on the left side first, and then I go the right one. I have to bang my post like after every goal I give up, stuff like that.
No, yeah, a lot of goalies like drinking water after a goal. I'm not really a big water guy. When we have a little bit of a timeout, I'll go make my way if I really want some. But everyone's different. That's what makes hockey so unique, is the personalities, and that's just how I conduct myself. And it's proved to work out so far. So why change?
Yeah, that's usually what I do. I'm just like I usually grab water after every like 2 stoppages of plays. So I drink a lot, or little sips of water, but like I'm always like drinking my water a lot and everything like that.
Yeah, like I said, everyone's different, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see everybody have their own little thing.
Yeah, it is for sure. What do you think is the best part of your game?
Best part of my game, I'd probably say, I don't know. I you probably have to ask my coach. I'm not very full of myself. I don't really know what my best part of the game is, but if I have to say one thing, it's probably like just like where I'm at mentally. Letting a goal, I don't really get too down on myself. I don't really like showing emotion during games.
Yeah.
Like if we score, I'll just do my thing and then that's it. Get ready for the next one, because I just don't let little things bother me.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like, after a first or second goal, they'll smash their stick and break it in half. I could never do that because sticks are expensive. So, I think the cerebral part of the game is probably my best part, because it's the little things. You gotta stay focused and prepare yourself and not really let little stuff get to you. And because hockey is such a demanding sport, so if you let even the slightest thing affect you, it's gonna mess up your game. So
yeah,
I think that would be my biggest asset.
Yeah, I feel that too. Other than playing ice hockey, like you said, you played roller hockey and you won the gold medal at the Junior Olympic Games, and you represented Team USA's U23 team and brought back some hardware. What was that experience for you?
That was weird, man. I playing for Team USA in Hawaii, of all places, was such an interesting experience. They got us really nice rooms, some nice villas and stuff, and treated us like royalty. And I got my uniforms, and it was kind of surreal to see, because I played for Team USA before, but I'd never won. So to win and have that celebration after with all the guys, me being 19 at the time and playing with 23-year-olds, they were all out having fun the night of.
Yeah.
To stay in with my medal and watch a movie with my family and just kind of take in the whole Hawaii experience. So
yeah, couldn't do any of that stuff the older guys could do.
No, you could, but you really couldn't. So,
yeah,
it was awesome. Winning gold and beating Mexico in the final was definitely something that I'll never forget. And it's just a great experience for me and my family to be out there and represent the United States in a pretty big tournament. So it was awesome.
Hockey in Hawaii is an interesting place too. Even if it's roller.
Surprisingly, the best roller rink I've ever played at is in Hawaii. That rink was just amazing. Just great tile, and it's just such a nice rink, so well maintained. So it's up there with one of my favorite places to play at.
They must be big on roller hockey up there then.
Yeah, no ice rinks, probably one or two. Ooh. Not much, but roller wise, they knew how to take care of their roller rinks.
Yeah. Well, what would you say is the biggest difference from roller to ice?
Definitely your feet work. You can't slide, you can't push off and stuff. You have to be able to shuffle, and you have to move differently. And it's kind of weird, but one thing that you'll probably hear from a lot of roller goalies is just the speed. It's a lot quicker. The puck's a lot lighter, so the shots come in harder, and they don't hurt as much, but they can easily whiz by your ear and you not even know. So it keeps you on your toes, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much, because that's that much more of a challenge to play roller. So that'd probably be the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, for sure. What kind of gear is your gear different from roller to ice, or so you have to buy a whole new set just for that strictly sport?
I was fortunate enough to get free pads from Mission. They kind of hook me up every so often whenever I need new gear. So they sent me some pads for the Junior Olympic Games after they heard I was making Team USA. And I used them, and they've been sitting in my garage for probably a year. And then once I kind of had a reason to go play with them, I busted them out of the garage and used them. And by the time I used them, the newer models were already out. So they were like, if you make the team next year, we'll send you some of the newer ones. But we'll see. But yeah, I have different pads, but gloves are the same, helmet's the same, everything else is the same. So everything but the pads.
That's awesome. What's different between like roller pad, like the leg pads, and ice pads?
They're lighter, less. I wouldn't say less safe, but less padded. So it's kind of interesting to see how they do all that stuff. But they have like these little rolls on the bottom to help you slide a little bit, so you get a kind of an ice feel. But it's not ice, so it's the same gear. It's the same premise. It does the same thing, but it's little stuff that if you pay attention to, you'll notice. But it's really not much of a difference. Some goalies just use ice stuff. Some goalies just don't care.
Yeah, for sure. If you had to give tips for an upcoming student athlete that wants to play at the college level for hockey, what would you tell them?
I'd say enjoy it, man. That recruiting process, that college choosing process is such a unique experience that you only get to live once. You only get to experience that once unless you are a 24-year-old wanting to transfer colleges, But, okay. Yeah, it's I'd say just enjoy it, make the most of it. And when that opportunity comes that you have to play in college, just kind of understand that it goes by really quick, and you just kind of want to take advantage of every start, every practice. Just kind of understand that it's a very incredible experience that you're only going to get to experience for 4 years. So just make the most of it and understand that at the end of the day, it's just a game. And the memories you make, nobody remembers, your stats. Nobody remembers all that stuff in college, unless you go out and play in the NHL one day. But, it's just enjoy yourself and make the most of every day because, at some point it all ends. And, I'm fortunate enough to still have 2 years left, so I sound like a 30-year-old man. But, the same thing applies to even high school hockey. I miss high school hockey. So.
Yeah, I do too. So, final question: Who would you say is your biggest role model?
Biggest role model in my personal life, probably my mom. But in the hockey world, probably Patrick Waugh. I wore 33 because of him. So he kind of inspired me, and he kind of is the guy that I try to model when I play, him and Lundqvist. So, but for my personal life, definitely my mom. My mom's an immigrant from Colombia. She struggled and worked hard enough so that I can go to college. So this is everything I do. It's for her. Yeah, everything I've ever done, every accomplishment, every trophy, every medal, it's all from my mom. So, I owe her my life. So, the least I can do is, win a couple games out here. And, so I send the pucks of every win.
That's awesome.
Shit like that.
And that's definitely a good thing to have. Keep you motivated through everything. Goaltending can be hard at times. So it's just good to have that state of mind where you could just give it all to your mom, your parents, everyone that's affected your hockey life in a good way.
Yeah, it's awesome. She means a lot to me. So to see her after a win and give her a call after a game, kind of remembers, kind of calms me down if we lose and kind of motivates me if we win. So
that's awesome.
Very how do I put this? Very very calming presence to have. In such a hectic life. So she's awesome.
That's awesome. So maybe we should get together sometime and maybe play some puck or something like that soon.
Yeah, definitely. If you make your way down to DePaul, we can definitely get some lunch and come out to a practice or something.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love that. All right. So thank you for your time, Rudy, and good luck the rest of the season. We appreciate it here at On the Spot Sports.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.